All right, welcome back to the White Guys with Jordans podcast.
Here we are again. Guys, man, are easy.
So, how are you guys doing?
So anyway,
Doing good.
But Disney remakes are garbage.
They are.
It's like you're trying to like push agendas so much.
Yeah, it's so like you would think that they would be self-aware to enough to know that if they have to push it so hard, like it's not going well.
No.
My thing is like I don't mind. Like why not? Write. Here's the option: new good content with not white people. If that's what you're so worried about.
Yeah, even then, like I feel like I would want my own thing rather than just some.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you scene for scene mimic the old Disney movies, then you might as well just watch the Disney movies. What?
Peter Pan.
This is
Talking about Disney.
This is the skinny white guys.
I mean, he has a point.
Yeah. Well,
Go
on
outside.
the C. Diff podcast, we don't talk about that. On the skinny white guys podcast with Jordans.
Skinny White Guys with Jordans isn't a comedy podcast.
It's a serious business.
It's a social commentary.
It's a cultural thing.
Yes.
Jordans.
You
it's
wouldn't
culture.
understand. You're not a skinny white guy with Jordans.
Yeah. Amateur.
Man.
So anyway, if you would rather see scene for scene, you might as well just watch the movies. But like, okay, you want to stray away from that. But it's like,
yeah.
it's Garbo.
Yeah, I don't know. Disney's.
Calm down. What would I say? Skinny White Boys with podcast. Jordan's deal. There's a special guest, Mia, or is that Missy?
That's Mia.
That's Mia.
That's Mia. It's a mouthful, honestly.
Skinny White Guys with Jordans.
Should we get that branded before somebody?
Yeah, we'll have to get that trademarked.
Do it.
To get that trademarked before somebody takes it.
Oh man!
Oh,
it's a
she
dog.
moved the camera.
Oh no!
Oh, Mia.
Oh, we have two special guests.
Mia.
Man, animal
Missy.
friendly here at the Skinny White Boys podcast with Jordans.
Skinny White.
You can change the name every time.
Skinny Jordans with White Boys.
The podcast with white boys and Jordans that are skinny.
I have no Jordans on.
That's it. Well, you're the guest.
You're the guest. Yeah. All of our guests get a pair of Jordans when they leave.
Mine are Under Armour.
I didn't finish the earlier thing from before. These are not for the Lakers. These are Liberty's school colors or Laker colors.
Liberty.
So, but I don't think that Jordan was like, you know what? Liberty needs school color shoes.
Yeah. No, these are, so we got to deal with the Jordan brand. He said, hey, we're just a small school in Philly.
We really could use the.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they're nice. I like them.
Yeah. No, they're great. They're like $60. I'm like, wow, I can't beat it. Yeah, go for it.
I downloaded the sneakers app.
Oh, we can't talk about anything serious now.
Okay.
Yeah. And welcome back
to the Calm Down It's Fine podcast. Oh man.
So
Back to being boring.
let's get goofy. Whoop whoop.
Nonsensical laugh track. Hit it.
I don't know where
He
it's
doesn't know
It's
which
the
button it
yellow
is.
one.
That's clap.
Claps.
Oh,
you idiot. It's gonna be
it's
green.
orange. No, orange. It's orange is
Oh,
happy.
Top.
Happy orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Now it's just nostalgia. This is the podcast we know.
Yeah. This is what you're paying for. Or should be.
All right, Caz. Tell us your hobby of jiu-jitsu.
Well, I like it. It's, I mean, what do you guys want to know?
How many people have you killed?
I mean,
You have a microphone there for a reason. If it doesn't
What's
sound
your,
like us,
I'm going to have to pull the Dustin card. I can't say.
What's your
Over,
current
under
standing? Yeah, win loss ratio.
Can't say because you lost count. Is that what you're saying?
Should Dana White contact you?
should we give him a chance to respond or just keep asking questions too fast for him to process? So, what belt are you? Do you wear a gi? How often do you do it?
What's your favorite bone to break?
How long have you been doing it?
You're like a 32 belt, right?
All your questions, yes.
What?
I say it's like a 32 belt.
Like a 32 is that what?
I am a 40 belt.
Yeah, let me ask you this though. All right, tell everyone what you do for that hobby, how often you do it, and what we're talking about.
So I have like 3 hobbies, but one of those hobbies is jujitsu, and I do it pretty regularly.
How about you just say it and not correct it like that?
Where do you train?
Mom's not here. She's not going to slap you in the head.
So
pretty regularly.
Where do you train at?
You're sure? Oh my god. Man.
Kazzy, where do you train at?
well,
I'm trying to move on. Kazzy.
well, so I train one night a week at the Greenwood VFW.
I love you.
I know, I love you.
Greenwood VFW.
Once on Mondays, and that's our self-defense class because oh, Lord have mercy.
It's not even that funny.
I'm just laughing at Harrison now.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's coming out so because he's trying not to laugh at first,
He's my brother.
and now he can't contain it.
That's what we do.
You did fix the camera, correct?
So.
I feel like I might have seen, but it's okay. So
He's
the
my
VFW
brother. That's what we do. I said, Cassie, don't have to correct your hack.
Wow, I'm actually crying.
So
right.
to answer your question, so when I my coach, he split the class into 2 brackets where it's a self-defense class and
then to offend class,
self-defense, and then a
self-defense, and then the other classes where you look for fights.
No, it's competition.
Oh, okay.
Competition.
Well, I mean, which is technically the same thing. Competition, you go somewhere specifically
Sort
to
of the
fight.
same as
So-
recording a low-tier amateur podcast.
I cross-train because I can only do the self-defense class once a week because the other night's on Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
So I go Monday, and then the rest of the week I go to Ray Apter's gym.
Shout out.
Hashtag Ray.
Sponsor. Thanks for sponsoring the podcast.
Thanks for sponsoring the podcast, Ray. Anyway, so we go there, and there's like several guys there who do competitions and stuff.
Do you do competition?
I do not. So
Could you? Are you good enough?
Have you beat them?
not yet, no.
How many people have you killed?
And I'm gonna have to plead the fifth and pull a Dustin and say I can't say.
Mm.
I mean,
Oh,
don't want
that
people
is
to
the
see
thing
that.
about Kazzy. Well, listen, if he's not gonna roll with you and choke
You
you
have a
out,
knife hidden in your gi too.
the man's got
Just in
weapons
case.
at all times.
Yeah, he does. That's only the one that.
What's
I mean,
that
these
red
are the
stain
ones
on
that
it?
hold themselves. There's another one that
Dave, what's
throws
that?
projectiles.
You see the red stain on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaz, quick question.
I'm not
So
gonna touch it
you
so
don't
you
do
get
tournaments.
diseases.
Why?
Because
You could do tournaments, but you
I
don't do
could.
them because you have a job.
I do. and
There's
I-
a guy who came back from tournaments just like a normal dude, and he's like his leg blew out
Yeah.
his knee,
Yeah, like
and you don't get paid. It's just you're going there. I'm not
You just
trying.
don't want to hurt other people's
So, yeah,
pride, guys. That's all.
You're
his
humble.
name-
You want
his-
to give him a fighting chance.
His name is Big Larry, and he's really
Big Larry.
Big
yeah,
Larry.
Well, because
Tall or wide.
he's pretty wide.
Kaz, he listens to this podcast.
And now he's gonna,
No,
he's
he
gonna beat
doesn't.
you up.
Kaz, I'm gonna make sure Big Larry finds out.
Big Larry's going to have to armbar you.
Big
now.
Larry's gonna get you.
the
Good
reason
thing
we
he
call
doesn't
him-
have a good knee.
The reason why we call him Big Larry is because his son is Little Larry.
Is he like a 36 belt?
That tracks.
No, he's a purple belt.
He said the reason we call him Big Larry is because his son is Little Larry.
It's a solid train of thought. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? The Big Larry or the Little Larry?
Harry
I would've-
good. What's he? 50? Is he a 50 belt?
Yes, he's a 36.
It's solid.
Larry, at your wedding, when they say forever or speak
right.
now, forever hold your peace, I will raise my hand.
So Larry hurt his knee.
Big Larry.
So
So
yeah,
you don't
Larry,
do that.
not
so
Little Larry.
basically,
Limping Larry.
yeah. I mean, he had a cane.
Lame Larry.
that's so funny.
Big lame Larry.
I mean, I fought him plenty of times, and he's a beast at it.
You can probably beat him now.
No, I do
No,
Said
understand.
Larry,
Competition,
I challenge you.
competition fighting
He's got
is
one
fun.
It is.
But it's not very rewarding, like you
Exactly,
were,
yeah.
like you were implying. Like it's fun,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I guess softball is the same thing. Like we played last night, and Dustin pulled his hammy like 2 weeks ago. Another guy that I work with pulled his hammy.
a dude
So
dude on our team broke his tibia.
Really?
Yeah, tripped over first base. Which is
run
sad.
through.
And
Run
serious.
through.
It's
I wasn't-
sad and unfortunate.
I
And we
was
don't
not-
condone it.
I wasn't at the game, but they had a doubleheader last Monday, and they were like, "Hey, I didn't go to the games because I'm not on the team because I'm bad." But I said, "Hey, how'd the games go?" And they said, "Oh, well, we won a game and we lost a game." I said, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And they said, "Yeah, the game we lost, Caleb buckled his knee." And Caleb's he's one of our teenagers. I said, "Oh, he buckled his knee, man. That stinks, dude. I hope he's better." I think he's like 17, 18, something like that.
Nah, it's fine.
And
He'll
I'm like,
bounce back.
yeah, I'm like, dude, I hope it's fine. And then the next day, I talked to somebody else on the team. I go, "I heard Caleb buckled his knee. How's he doing?" And he was like, "Oh, he didn't buckle his knee. Like he broke his leg." And I went, "Oh, see, that's worse than the first thing I heard."
Yeah, taking a buckle to the knee is not that bad. You can recover that. So, speaking of belts,
You can hit the what's the
Comedy podcast.
whoa.
for those
Back to our
for
gimmicks.
those not watching, I put my foot up and hit it. Yeah, so that's awful that he did that to his knee or leg.
It's tibia,
Was
is
it?
from what
Okay.
I hear.
I just acted like I knew where that was, but I was like, "Is that your like pinky toe, baby toe?" Like I have no idea where that is.
The tibia is in the
Tibia?
leg. So
It's
there's
the
a
front.
fibia and a tibia. So the front.
So he broke his shin.
yeah.
Well, how about we just use words that people know?
Because, bro, I'm smart.
For our sophisticated listeners
Yeah.
out there
For Gabriel
who need
Shelton.
some
Who can't
Yeah.
talk about his
they
job?
need some
Yeah.
mental stimulation, all right? So you have to say tibia.
People who
yes.
have
If the calm
lost
down
brain
is-
cells listening to this
The other
podcast.
people will sing like the leg bone's connected to the ankle bone.
Yeah, if the Calm Down is Fine podcast is not at your level of intellect, tune into the White Guys with Jordans that are skinny podcast. You'll be sustained
Just
there.
put that in your search bar. See what comes up.
Yeah, I wonder
White-
if there's already a white guy with
guys
Jordans.
that are skinny and also wear Jordans and shorts.
Yeah. Yeah,
I like that.
you know.
So, Kaz,
What's up?
enough about us. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. You're single.
That's
I am.
Italian. That's Italian for nitty gritty.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty. It's also Nacho Libre.
Translating.
Yeah. You're single, but you're not allowed to
It's all the
court or date
True.
until what?
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but I guess let's just say.
He has a.
Let's just say I've been threatened by my sisters.
Oh, it's the sisters are chasing away the suitors.
Well, it's,
Yes.
Let
I'll
him
put- I'll
cook,
put it- I'll put
Kenzie.
it-
Let him cook.
I'll put it this way.
He's got the ingredients. He's got the stove.
He's got it.
Let him go.
Let him cook.
Cassie walks out in the public. Somebody stop me.
I'll put it this way. I was threatened that I couldn't get married until my
Both of
sister,
your sisters got married.
and then Mackenzie gets a boyfriend. I'm like, man, you just want me to get married, don't you?
Yeah.
You just
It's really,
she found
really
some.
trying to fast track you over here. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No wonder that one's taking a little longer than expected.
So basically, they're pulling rank.
Yeah.
So that's why Dustin's not engaging. 'Cause Meredith's death threatening him.
So the following question is, if it wasn't for your sisters cutting you off at every turn and trying to prevent you
Actually-
from flourishing,
Actually,
clipping
Mom
your
has a
wings.
pretty-
I was
would
gonna
you
s-
be married already?
I'm not sure, but I kind of lied.
Whoa!
It's not
Whoa.
only my two
That's a
sisters. It's
want
my
want
mother.
right there.
Oh, it's your mother.
Where do you think Dad would stand on this?
He would say, Cassie, you're dumb and immature. You need to wait.
Well,
And
You guys
I
are a
would
bunch of
say
straight
much
shooters over
nicer.
there.
I would say much nicer.
the same thing.
Kaz,
You'd paraphrase in a nicer way.
You're an idiot.
That's about right.
Just joking. No. So yeah.
Kaz, remember, if you get married, she takes half the knives.
Don't worry.
Yo,
He doesn't know my combination
literally,
of the safe.
we were when
No,
he
because it's all going to be in his mom's name.
yes, smart boy.
Yeah.
So when I was dating Kayla, I went to the mall with her and we were going to a jewelry store. I had brought her a bracelet, like a diamond bracelet, and we were exchanging it for something else. It was too big and you couldn't adjust it. Like it wasn't one that you could.
Diamonds were too big.
Yeah, I was like, her arm was dragging the floor. It's like
her wrist was sprained all the time.
Golly. So Kazzy was chaperoning us, and we kept going to jewelry stores, and Kazzy was hearing the price, which honestly, it wasn't that expensive. It was not. It was under $1,000, and if you're buying diamonds, like that's not that expensive.
Reasonable.
So Kazzy is standing there, and I like look at him. He's like stressed out of his mind. I'm like, "What's wrong? What's up?" He goes, "I'm not ready for a relationship." He goes, that's just a lot, man.
That's like a gun right
I still
there.
want. I literally said, I still want to buy stuff for myself. I still want to buy guns. And I'm like, when you have those feelings, you know you're not ready.
No, that's not true. Because even when you are married, you want to buy stuff. You just can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't. But he was like stressed out. Like he's like, "Being having a girlfriend is expensive." Didn't you say that? Remember that? Explain it.
He's converting jewelry to
like-
rifles.
Oh my gosh, man! A girlfriend.
He's
a
like,
girlfriend roughly costs 3 guns a month.
So he has a gun fund.
I do.
He has a gun fund.
As you should.
Yeah. I collect scrap metal, and I collect scrap metal, and then I take it to the scrap yard and get cash for it.
Yeah, and when you have a wife, you take that metal to the scrap yard and you lose cash for it.
Yeah, it's basically nothing changes. You get married and you still see things you want to buy, then you just go, but I can't.
Well, David's in a little different situation. He works, gives his wife his money, and then she takes it and saves it.
Yeah.
And then then she gives back his allowance.
Let's be honest, because if she wasn't saving it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if there's one thing I'm good at, it's spending $1.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I
that's
do-
what we're all good at, apparently, because Davy Slow.
$1.03.
No, I do want to get
Living
married someday.
large.
I'm just not ready. I'm not. I do want to get married, just the Lord hasn't brought her yet.
Wow. Amen.
So God said no.
So what you're
Right
saying
now,
is
yes.
you're
So
blaming
basically-
God. You're
yeah,
blaming God
so
for clipping your
basically-
wings.
It doesn't matter what you're like. Repeat after me. It doesn't matter what my sisters say.
Yes, basically. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what my sister said.
Whoa, end it there. Whoa.
All right, and we're good. Moving on. All right.
Whoa.
That's the podcast.
There it is.
Join us again next week.
See what Meredith and Mackenzie have to say.
Yeah, here we go.
It doesn't matter what my sisters say. It matters what my mother says.
Oh, see, look now. Oh, caveats.
Oh, come on. Man.
Ah.
So boring.
No.
No, in all seriousness, Kazzy is not ready to be married.
Yes.
So,
I'll back that, but I do want to get married someday.
yeah.
Well,
Someday.
Over the rainbow. I think that's how that song goes.
So,
I
anyways,
It's
we were
somewhere,
talking about
but it's okay.
we were talking about
Throughout
jujitsu.
just
Kazzy does
living
jujitsu. Loves jujitsu.
I do.
He's been doing it for over a year. He scares me a little bit.
He's got a ankle collection.
I have to keep working out because I have to at least be stronger than him. Like, I don't care if he can beat me in a fight, but if we go to lift like a pile of weight, I want to be able to lift more. You know what I mean?
for more reps too.
Yeah. So I want to be able to lift more. But one thing that's always going to be for me is I'm taller than him. So I got that.
You got the range on the punches.
Yeah. And so with jiu-jitsu, you fight on the ground. So I just got to stay off the ground.
Yeah.
Speaking of lifting weight, have you guys seen those videos of that guy Anatoly?
Who goes dressed up as the janitor.
Yes,
And
dude.
dude just starts.
He's not like he's jacked out of his mind, but he's not like
He's not big.
super big though.
No, he's like a small guy, and he's just like lifting insane amounts of weight with one hand. He's
The
just-
premise is he goes. It's like a guy who has like a I don't know his like nationality is Middle Eastern I think.
I think they're
no,
done
I think
in a,
he's. I think it's Russian or something
yeah, I think
like that.
it's
His name's Anatoly.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
somewhere out there.
But he's so he goes dressed up as a janitor and he's like, oh excuse me, I clean here.
Which I thought the beard was fake, and it's real.
Nah, it's a real beard.
Yeah.
But he'll go in like full like cleaning suit, mop, which I'm like, that's a hazard right there. You can't just put water in
You can't
like
just
the,
mop while people are
yeah,
running.
mop.
Couldn't I
on
clean
the
around
deadlift floor.
your weights and
Like,
not like
no, 'cause if
450 on a bar?
Well, it's always funny because he always opens complimenting. He's
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
"Oh,
it's
good weight,
good.
good weight."
Good weight. Or then he
but-
goes like, "Oh, bad form, bad
Yeah,
form,"
bad form, good weight, bad form.
and then he
bad
just
form.
picks it up and yokes it. I'm like,
or
oh.
or like when the guys are
He's like, no, it's just
deadlifting-
good. Like he'll the guy deadlifts it one time, So, oh, that's impressive. You mind if I clean here? And then like he just pulls out 6 reps.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good weight, and like he walks with it, moves it out of the way,
Yeah, no,
cleans
the
it,
best,
puts
the
it
best
back.
was like he had the mop in one hand, and he was like, do you mind if I mop here? And the guy's like, yeah, sure. And there's like 405 pounds at least on the thing, and he goes, oh, thank you, and just one hand picks it up.
Yeah, that was
moves
the
it.
crazy one.
Everybody's like,
The one that I saw was probably he was
The
rowing.
ultimate pump cover.
The rowing. He was doing row like it was.
I think he was
picked up the
rowing
bar with one bar, and it had to be at least 300 pounds. And he picked up the bar and rowed the whole bar.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my.
it's
yeah, he
so
rode what they were deadlifting.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm. That it was like.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
and then the one guy, he was curling, like I don't know what he was curling because
And the guys look at him initially and go, "You can't lift this. Like,
Yeah.
your form's bad. Pff, who are you?"
Well, the one guy was like curling weights, and I don't know. They go by kilograms or whatever over there, so I don't know what it converts to as pounds.
Just times 2.
Oh,
That's the easy way.
okay. So he was the guy was like curling, and he walks up and he goes, "Oh, that's my dream arm. My dream arm is to look like you." And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm gonna try it." And he goes to like pick up like even more weight, and the guy goes, "Hey, no, man, you're gonna hurt yourself. You can't do that, bro. You're gonna hurt yourself." He's like, "No, it's fine. I try one time. And he's just like, dude, the videos are.
But it's
so
like he
funny.
goes up to people that are like,
He's got to rely on the cameras in the gyms, right? Because they're all looking like it seemed like the cameras are down, so it's like looks like the camera gyms.
there's long selfie sticks in a corner of the gym.
Just a guy.
Yeah, I
Nothing
assumed,
to see here.
I assumed he just had like a friend that was like recording in the distance.
I've seen some. It looks like from the ceiling. So I don't know how
maybe,
it's
maybe
happening.
like a security kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, they're funny videos.
They
though.
are so
And
funny.
it's funny.
Yeah, they make me laugh for sure.
You never know. So Caz, even though he's not, moral of the story was, even though Caz is smaller, he's still going to beat you up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to shoot him.
Oof.
Cameron's like, I can lift more weight than you, and he's like, not when you have broken elbows.
That was
Ankle
Kazzy.
locks.
When we would wrestle, Kazzy was always the one that would be like, we'd wrestle, and then he pulls like, imaginary gun, Michael Scott, Cacao. And you're like, oh, come on, man. Like, he was like, knife, you're dead. I'm like,
Hits me every time.
and when he came of age where he could actually have guns and knives, he certainly took advantage of it.
I
But-
did.
I always did that thing where the kids would be like imaginary guns, like bang bang, and I'd be like, I dodged it.
I gave Kazzy a wedgie one time
He
on the
did.
coat rack.
And left me there.
Left him on the coat rack with a wedge.
And he put a chair at the edge.
He says,
Here's the funny thing. I
made
remember
it sound like a salad
I
with
put
a wedge.
I was 2 feet off the ground.
I
and
put
he
a chair just for his toes to be like, and then he's up.
walked
on the-
inside, turned the lights off, and
Walked
left me
inside,
there.
turned the lights on. It was the garage, so it was like right by the door. So it was like a very heavy duty,
so that
Coat
was
rack.
that was a traumatic childhood.
and he
Yeah,
was probably
incident that molded you into
85
the-
to 90 pounds, and I was just like,
That's good advertising.
and I
for
just
that
held him
bar.
up there and then pulled a chair up. So it was like literally, like he was like on a torture cross. Like he was just like keeping himself like.
Whoever the designer of that bar should just put that in a commercial.
No, whoever
Like,
was the designer
Right
of that,
weight you could
it's
support.
like I thought a good Hanes commercial. I'm like, it stood the test. Sadly, I don't think they did.
Yeah.
I don't think they stood the test.
Is that how you got down?
I think he kind of descended slowly.
One year at
As
kitty
the
camp.
seam just started getting undone, just lower and lower. Just a few more stitches to go.
He said he was bouncing. Come on, bounce! Almost there.
You just hear him like you're in the house. You just hear him outside.
Just a thud and some whimpering.
Both my ankles are broken from the fall.
I don't know why I did that.
When we were
you're a
at kitty
bully,
camp
that's
one year,
why.
we duct taped Josh Ryman to a tree.
Oh,
Was it? That had to be like you didn't just do it. He had to volunteer.
No, like a lot of us grabbed him, like the adult counselors as well.
Huh.
Like grabbed him, put him on a tree, and we taped him to the tree.
I'm trying to think how you do that.
Yeah, Miss Linda got mad at
That's
us.
funny. That's great.
I mean, it was funny. We didn't like leave him up there for like an hour or anything like that. We just duct taped him to a tree. He couldn't get off, and then we acted like we were leaving, and then
We did. I did that to him in the basement. I tied him. What did we do? Tie you to one of the poles in the basement,
I think so.
and then we left and shut the light. Well, me and Meredith probably did, and we shut the lights off. And
You guys are so mean.
Yeah, you're really bullies.
we
dude.
also would like.
Cam's a bully.
We also would like spank him, like
no reason.
not legitimately like give him a spank, but like we would give him a spank because he never got spanked.
Cassie, did they?
So I was
put you
like,
in,
we got
the
spanked.
dryer?
You need to get spanked. I think we did put him in the dryer.
I think so. They
What-
would put me in the
Cassie,
closet and tell me
Cassie.
the police were coming to
Cassie.
get me.
Yeah. For those who are listening.
Blink twice if you need help.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell him about the closet.
So I remember, I think this like happened like once or twice, where they were like, "Cassie, come downstairs. The police are coming to get you." I'm like, "Why?" Like I was too young to understand that they were joking, but so they would lock me in the closet with the lights off and say, "All right, the police are coming. Go hop in the closet."
I remember.
Like for like 20 minutes.
Yo, you guys are
Guys,
messed
tell
up.
him about
crazy.
the heat duct where he said mom was in the duct work.
Oh, so for some reason I caught on to this one. Like I knew it wasn't. So I was maybe what? 7?
18.
What month is it?
No, I was at like maybe
You were probably honestly,
6 maybe.
but I don't know. No, you
I was
were
maybe
8 or 10.
Yeah, 8 or 10.
Kaz, you
And
need
so-
to demand retributions.
And so
Reparations.
I come
Reparations, that's what-
downstairs.
yeah, reparations.
Retribution.
Hey, both.
That's why the Skinny Boy podcast we get
God's-
nothing done.
God's
We're
backhand's
over here
coming
asking
your
for
way.
retribution.
We're more of a violent way.
So I was,
God's back.
God's backhand's coming.
so I was like 6 or 10, and I come downstairs and
I was
McKinsey-
6 or 10. One or the other.
10.
Nowhere in between.
10.
So I come downstairs, and Mackenzie and Mary are like, "Cassie, mom's in the air duct," and I distinctly behind this air duct is a closet.
Yeah.
If the layout is
How many closets do you have in your house?
Yeah.
right there. Oh,
And were you locked in all of them?
no, it was
At
this
one
is the
point or
same-
another.
Can you
This is
name
the same
name a
closet.
closet which you haven't been locked in your house?
The pantry.
This was the only closet that I've been locked in that they said the police were coming to get me.
It was like mom and dad's walk-in closet when their room was downstairs. Then they moved upstairs, but it was like the big closet. So go ahead.
And so they're like, Cassie, mom fell in the air duct. And I hear my mom saying, "Cassie, help!" In the background.
Your mom was in on it?
And so I'm like,
No.
and so
we're just we're like gathered around the heat dog.
What's the statute of limitations on this?
And so
Crazy.
Can Cassie be taken from them still?
Let him finish the story.
This
and
is
so
why-
I hear her, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. It's nowhere directly near this area.
Because
And
she's
so
down below.
So I look up, and I look in, I'm like, because I've already had these. I was already thinking, the sound directory is not.
Yeah.
It's not. Doesn't make any sense.
He was a
And
smart kid.
So I
He
jumped down.
He was
I'm like,
pretty quick.
So,
Thinker.
Not get one over on old cat.
so I was like, wait a minute, he's in the office closet. So I run to the office and open. I'm like, that was dumb. I didn't say that, but I was like,
yeah. I saved you, mom.
but I was like, it was like, this is dumb.
I played so many bad
She's
tricks
still
on
alive
cat.
to this day.
This is why they don't want Kaz to get married, because all this stuff's going to get out.
Listen.
Yeah, that's what
Listen, so I used to like steal
All the
his stuff
dirty
and run up
secrets
to the
of
room.
family.
Like
Kaz, you should write a book.
They're trying to protect the Manarese name and,
Yeah.
I used to steal his stuff
the brand Manarese.
all the time. I would
I
steal.
can see the book title now.
It's going to be a defamation case. How I survived.
Manarese behind closed doors.
Yeah, how I
Yeah.
survived the Manarese.
Exposed.
Yeah.
Was this when I punched you in the face?
Yeah. So
All right. This is an interesting story.
I would steal his stuff and run upstairs, and because whatever, his phone or his wallet or his tablet or whatever, I would just take and take
Or his
off.
dignity.
Yeah, and I would lock the door and act like
lost a lot
he's
of
so
time.
easy to provoke.
That one's still hanging on the coat rack.
All right, so we're on the Calm Down It's Fine podcast right now, boys. I don't
Great,
know if
great piece of they which love thy law, Kaz.
I would steal his stuff and I would just provoke him as older brothers do. So I would run
And
upstairs.
sisters
Yeah.
and mother.
Was your dad in on
Sundry
it?
No,
times,
because
father.
Bible says and father is not for
Yeah.
Dad's just sitting there like, son, it's not me. Just remember
it's
that.
biblical.
All right.
Not your children of wrath. And that's the real reason why the Manarese family's blessed.
Yeah.
God's like, I gotta bless him.
Yep.
The rest of the family.
The one rule. I had one rule. He's
He's
following
keeping
it.
my commandments. Yeah,
He's a human slave, but we have to actually bless him because the whole father verse, Proverbs, promise or precept, you know what I mean? So I'd steal his stuff, run upstairs, and I'd act like I was hiding it, taking his money out of his wallet. And he's so easily provoked. I mean, so easily. Like, I'm like, you're going to get this back. Eventually it's not going to be the rest of my life in my room locked in here and you're not going to be whatever. So he was so easy to provoke. So I ran upstairs one day and I was antagonizing him with the door locked. And so he's beating on the door, saying, whatever. I don't even know what I stole. But I opened the door. And when I opened the door, his fist was right. His fist was like, as the door opened, I was like, whoo. And he was like, I don't know if he was swinging but it was like, bah, right in my nose. And I was like,
Got him.
Here.
Lesson learned.
You can take it. He can take it back.
Did you throw another one after that? Did you
don't
have a
think so.
follow up?
Usually what would happen is we'd wrestle and, either the classic, my knees on his arms, slap in the face, like, but what would happen is we'd be wrestling and I would be laughing because it's funny when your little brother is mad. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like he's mad. You probably experienced this when you're just manhandling your little brother. Yeah. Shut up, Harry. You're manhandling your little brother and he's
only
mad
child relatable.
and screaming or whatever, and you're just laughing on the floor and he's trying to beat you up or whatever. So he would inadvertently like actually hit me in the face, and like now it's not games anymore. Now we're actually, this is like and, just take his arms so malicious. Like, don't you ever, like that happens so much where I'm just playing around and he wasn't playing around, he's like actually trying to kill me. But I can understand why. Remember, I get it. Remember my wedding rehearsal party, best man speech that he gave.
Oh.
Yeah, he roasted.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He roasted
a lot of
you.
stuff.
I remember because
I was like,
everybody got up.
Thanks, man.
I think Miss Clark was like, poor Cazzy.
Yeah, everybody who had something to say about Kayla, they're like, she's the sweetest person I've ever met.
I know. Mike gets up and goes like,
Mike
is like, gonna be
Mike gets up, he's like, Cameron's
crying.
ruining my life.
And I'm like, Mike, you're getting married in like a month.
Kaz was probably the happiest person there, just had to deal with it
He
anymore.
said, Kaz literally gets up and goes, I've been waiting a long time for this. That's what he said.
Literally opening line, and he's just like, let me tell you all of the horrendous things I've had to be
He got
put
up
through.
with a stack of papers like,
Yeah.
when I was a child.
I thought I was about to be like, Kayla, you should get out now.
The door's open.
But I do remember that he put you through the ringer.
Yeah, he did. Do you have the notes?
I think
It's on his iPad.
Somewhere.
The video? You didn't write it down?
It's on his iPad somewhere, or his dad's
It's on
iPad.
Mom's iPad. It's on Mom's
Oh.
iPad.
What were a few of the points you made? The wedgie story, right?
Oh yes, and then that you made with Meredith about the
was it
running
there?
around the swing set.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you can tell that. What you told that?
Yes.
in his underwear.
What
or
if you
something.
told it?
Yeah, it was in the snow, no clothes on except his underwear.
We lived in the country.
Were they the ones that were pre-wedged or after-wedged?
Probably pre-wedged.
Like they're dragging behind.
That's because I was fast. We were like, I was like a kid, like probably 8 or 9, and I want to say I was that young, hopefully. But what was the dare? The run around.
It was like you had to run around 7 times in the snow, and there was a lot of snow outside. 7 times around the
What
swing
a
set.
sniff! Can we go back to that? Did you guys see that sniff?
Was that who? You?
Yeah,
No, it was
dude.
Harry.
Dude, Cameron
Nice try.
was picking up the odors from the couch with that thing.
Anyways,
Man,
yeah, I did it and I won. I don't know what I won, but
You did
it was part of. I
dare,
got
not
credit for
the
that
running
for being
around.
homeschooled.
Right.
It was part of my college credit.
You survived
From high
homeschool.
school. No, it's part of just running around the house when you're homeschooled, you just write everything as a high school credit. Like, oh, it's credit. It's like, economics.
Yeah.
Credit.
Yeah.
Something. You learned something.
3-4 years of gym. Yeah, he's been here. He's been
putting in the work.
Yeah, he's been
showing
running,
up.
Yeah, he's been running all his life. Yeah.
What else was in your
Been running all his life.
You left the transit on at a rally we went to.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And then, let's see.
I just
what
drove
else?
away.
Yeah, we went to a rally, a Trump rally in Pennsylvania.
Reading.
We got there like at 8 o'clock in the morning.
during COVID.
Yeah, during COVID.
Oh,
right?
yes.
We get back to the transit, to the car, truck, van, whatever, at like 5, and it's running. And I'm like,
almost empty.
it was full, and it wasn't like a quarter tank. It had been running all day, just sitting in the parking lot. Literally no other cars around it, just sitting there running.
Bro, you're so smart.
So I got out. It does idle very quietly.
Typical Trump supporter right there.
Yeah,
Seriously.
it idles really quietly. And so I parked, got out, talked to someone, reached in, grabbed my stuff, walked away. That happened. What else?
Oh, yeah, there was the time he tortured me
that was
by
part of the thing.
making me bench lift 100 reps and
100 reps of like
during a
90 pounds
revival. Oh, that
on the
was
bench in the
awful.
basement. You know, the classic bench in the basement. We're
How
gonna
many reps did you
We're
get?
gonna get jacked on this little bench. You know those days. Yeah.
How many reps did you get?
Oh, beyond pain.
I mean, I had a video.
Oh, I can't
Voice
count that
recording.
high.
I was.
I had a
screaming.
video he didn't know I was videoing it, but he he was benching, and it was I think it was 90 pounds, but I made him do like 100, and he was like,
I was legit
Did
screaming.
he actually get to 100?
I think so.
I was legit screaming.
Wow.
Whatever it was, it might have been 80 pounds. I think it was 80 because I had two. It was like sand weights. It was like 2 20 pounds, 2 4 6. Yeah, it was 80 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was 12.
And it was a tiny
Impressive.
bench, but it was like I had made him do 100 times.
And I was 12 years
That's
old.
so impressive.
Yeah, but
If you told me to do that now, I'd be like,
and here's the
not a
worst part of
shot.
it. Listen, here's
ain't
the worst part of
happening.
it. He was, I'm in pain. I'm like, oh, Cameron, I can't do this anymore. He is voice recording it. We had a revival that week, and he's letting everyone listen to it. Listen to my brother scream. And I'm legit screaming my head off because I'm in such pain. I'm like, Cameron, I can't do it.
yeah,
Cameron,
you're big today for that reason, though, right?
Yeah. That's what motivated you to join.
It might have stunted him actually.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what it was. It gave him the motivation. Now everybody he beats up in jiu-jitsu, he's just picturing Cameron.
Just payback,
There was one time Cameron and his two friends, they tackled me on the ground. They
Well, now I don't believe this story.
no, that was true.
Yeah,
I
Cameron's
don't.
not
You said
friends.
2 friends.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Now
One
we're
friend
getting
grabbed-
crazy.
One friend
Enough
grabbed
of the
my one arm.
madness. Go ahead.
One friend grabbed my one arm. Cameron got on my one side, and the other guy was got on top of me. Was like, "What are you gonna do?" I did the only thing I could. I spit on him.
He went, and it was like he took the biggest loogie, like, yeah, but it was like he was like, and it was like we couldn't do anything. We're just like, we're like,
That's a
oh no,
solid
we have to
answer.
try and dodge this. But it was
What are
like-
you gonna do? I mean, that's a solid
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah, he literally nailed
effort.
it.
It was fun.
He didn't hit me. He hit the other guy, but that was fun.
Anyway,
Tell him the story about airsoft with your fingers, and we'll end this
Oh.
podcast.
so we're very big into airsoft. Still am. Guess I don't get to play that much, but we used to go to this big construction site, and it was like had those big shipping containers.
Watch your
And-
language. Better days.
So like we would be climbing on them.
Shipping containers, you know, like they come over on boats or whatever, and you have cars in them. Just like
Uh-huh.
So we
What
would
else
run-
were you
I've
thinking
played.
of?
Yeah, I've
just
played.
I was
shipment.
explaining it.
Hey,
I know our
shipping
shipping
containers.
I
You
know our.
those, you know
I
those
our
big
podcast-
containers
yeah.
where they ship things. That's what we're talking about.
I know our podcast members don't know what like a tibia is, but I'm surely they know what a shipping container is.
Yeah, dude, they've all played Call of Duty.
Yeah, I get Amazon boxes sometimes. They ship stuff all the time, and it's in those containers.
So-
Anyway, continue.
It's okay. All right.
It's funny.
You had a bunch of Amazon boxes.
So, I'm like, okay, I'm around 12. I'm age 12 now, and so, but I'm still not that tall, and so, all the tall guys are running across, and I'm like, I want to get up there. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I struggle. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I had my gun. Yeah, I had my gun on the side, and so
There was like barrels, like 55-gallon barrels, like metal barrels that you can like stand on. You know,
Yeah.
like oil's shipped in.
The drums, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, what are they shaped like?
they're circular,
Like a barrel.
like a rectangle barrel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the area formula for a cylinder? I can't remember.
Yeah.
So
So they're on the outside, so you hop up on those and hop on the
yeah,
The
so,
shipping container.
shipping container.
Right.
so I just barely get my gun up there, and so as I'm doing that, one guy gets up, hands me my gun back. I'm like, dude, I want to get up here. So
Yeah.
I get my gun back up, and I just barely, I'm like,
You have to, from the barrel to the top of the shipping container,
Right.
you have to like jump. So from that space of barrel to there, you have to like to where you're committed. You're hanging.
Right.
So this is where he's getting to.
So I'm hanging about like maybe 2.5, 1 foot to where I can't drop because I will get hurt. So I do it. I'm like, I got it. Out of nowhere, someone goes full auto.
On his
Full
hand.
auto on my fingers.
Someone.
Yes,
Someone?
It wasn't Cameron. It was someone else.
Okay.
But all my fingers, and I'm like,
I hear.
and I'm like, I can't drop because I know it's a good 2 feet, and if I land wrong, I could sprain my ankle. So I'm like,
2 feet drop's not that bad.
On
not
the
the-
barrel, like you're just
It's a barrel.
it's a
though.
drop and the barrel go.
and I'm like, and then finally it stops. I'm like, that was the longest. It was like being in a
Did you at least help him out?
no one was
I was
there.
watching from adventure.
So no one was there. So I get down and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, his hands are bloody.
And so I go back to the respawn and I did get a
respawn.
Did
So
your
I-
health regenerate?
yeah. So
I don't feel any better.
I did get a revenge thing, not on the other guy, but on someone else who was hanging, and I had some mercy.
So you got revenge on a guy who didn't do it to you?
no, but
I
like,
think that's just.
he was hanging there. I'm like, oh, I feel like shooting
We need to
someone.
get
So I-
revenge. on
Kazzy did
Cam.
the exact same thing to
'Cause
some
my
other
finger-
poor soul.
Somebody you guys created a monster.
I know who did that. I know the guy who
Call him
shot.
out.
Say their
So
name.
He said, no, he said,
the-
You
literally
can't
that-
call him out because you
he's
don't
like,
have
I shot
friends.
some guy. I didn't know he was on our team or not, but I shot his fingers. And I was
say
like,
say their name.
Kaz,
You
like,
can't
so-
call him out. You
and
don't
so-
have.
Say their
so-
name.
So he
Cam?
can't.
You can't give a name. It's proof you have no
Yeah.
friends.
So I did-
I don't believe this story at all.
So here's the best. Here's the
his
best
story. I
part.
don't care if you believe it.
So here's the best part. I guess Cameron found out who it was, but he didn't do anything about it. So afterwards, I'm like,
What was I supposed to do?
so
He
we're-
got you out.
So
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
we're getting all our stuff, and I'm like, man, my fingers are just so sore. And our friend of ours was like, man, why, Kaz? And I'm like, man, I explained it all. He was like, oh, okay. So a week later, we're talking to this guy. He was like, oh, Cassie, you remember that? I'm like, yeah. He said, it was me. That friend of ours, the guy I told. He was like,
He's
it was
playing
me.
coy.
Oh, so bad.
Well, there's like a club building that's like down the street from my parents' house, and
Isn't
when
that
we
like
were
what they call a deli? Club building? Never mind.
Stop being silly.
it's a
Dave
is
didn't
it
get it.
called the I
It's
didn't
another
get it.
knife.
Yeah.
It's a sandwich, club sandwich.
Uh,
So don't worry about it. It's late.
New Delhi, and there was we used to go down there. It was like two buildings down from my parents' house when we were kids. Like I was like maybe 12. Zach was probably like 10. And there was like the oil tank was on the back of the building, and we used to climb on top of that and then climb on top of this building, and we would hang out on the roof of this building. And then one day there was like a wedding reception in there, and so I didn't know, but Zach went over there and he like climbed on top of this building or whatever. And so I'm like walking across the yard, and I just see like 14 guys, like men, come running out of the building, and they're staring up at the ceiling, and I'm like, or at like the roof, and I was like, what is going on right now? And then I see Zach, 10 years old. He's just like hanging off the side, and he drops down, and he leaves, and he's like running away from him. They're like, how'd that kid get on the roof? And they're like chasing Zach, trying to figure out how he got on the roof of this building. It was so funny.
Oh my goodness.
We
It'd
used
been
to do
better if he
stuff
just
like-
dropped.
Yeah, we used to do stuff like that. There was an old house in Kenton. It's been torn down since, but these people like moved out of it, and nobody was living in there for like a couple years. So me and Phil Hess, we got into the house, and then we were like checking out the house, and the house was like it was really cool. It was like it had like two stairways two separate stairways on each end of the house that like went up to the second floor, stuff like that. And we were like, man, this is a really nice house. It's a shame that like they just like left the house to like fall apart or whatever. So Phil's like, hey, let's get on the roof. So we climb out the second story window, and we're hanging out on the roof, which is, it's kind of weird that like I did that a lot, but we were hanging out on the roof, and the neighbor like starts yelling at us, hey, what are you doing on the roof? So me and Phil just acted like we were roofing, but like we didn't have hammers.
As 10-year-olds do.
Yeah, I gotta rip off these shingles.
Well, at this
labor
point,
laws.
we were probably like
that was
14.
before labor laws, right?
Yeah, at this
Child
point,
labor
at
laws
this
are
point,
killing
we were
this country.
probably
OSHA
like
ruined everything.
we were probably like 14, 15 at this point, and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing up there?" We're like,
Send them
"We're
back
like,
to
oh, we're
the
just
mines."
roofing," and like we don't have hammers, so we're just doing this. And she's like, "I'm calling the police," and we were like. And we went back inside, ran down the
Dude, that's funny. We're roofing.
Yeah, that was the first thing. What are you doing up there? We're roofing. We're roofing. Like
Somebody's got to roof it.
Because that we had a roofing company. 2 14-year-olds were just tearing off shingles and putting them on for people
Absolutely.
for a house where nobody lived in.
Two skinny boys with Jordan's roofing.
All right, let's wrap this up. Let's put an end to it. Who's got the gospel drop?
Probably Caz.
Guys, you gonna give the gospel?
Sure.
You're a good guest today. Nice stories. Do you have any stories that don't involve me torturing you?
That's been.
Have you ever said anything positive, like, "Oh, he was a good big brother"?
Yes.
It's not his fault,
I'll
Cam.
kick you off the podcast if you don't say that, boy.
It's the end anyway. Don't worry about it.
No one's listening at this point.
You
Kaz.
can come on the White Boys with Jordan's podcast.
All right, Kaz, give us the way to heaven.
Well, guys, I got saved when I was 7 years old, and I got saved because I did not want to go to hell, and it's let's just say it's hot. It's very hot, and you do not want to go there, because the Bible says God gave His only begotten Son to die on the cross, and He died for you and your sins, so you didn't have to go there.
Yep.
So, Cameron, you go ahead.
Well, listen to Kaz. If you don't, you're a joke. Thank you for listening to the Calm Down Is Fine podcast and the Skinny White Boys with Jordan podcast. Tune in next week. Hopefully the whole crew will be back. Like, subscribe, go give us a 5-star rating and review. Stay cool, stay calm, because it's the Calm Down Is Fine podcast.
Buy a shirt.
Buy a shirt.
Become a producer.
Become a producer, an executive producer.
Yeah.
Here's my Cash App, at Cam Manarazi. Literally, at Cam Manarazi.
Here's more BBC.
Hold on a second. I gotta look mine up.
At Cam Manarazi. And David, you got yours?
Here's
What is
some
yours?
more
You're gonna hit
BBC too, right?
record
What is
before I
yours?
say it.
What is
You're
yours?
so mean to me. all
David's
of
is
the
at
time.
Cam Manarazi and
It's at Nikki Neath.
Mine's at David Neath.
I'm
I got it in there.